fertile fields are being ravaged mercilessly by ferocious wild boars. They lurk in treacherous terrain, challenging even the most skilled marksmen. Facing the devastation caused by these beasts, the hunters refuse to back down, plunging into a fierce battle to stop the marauders. Will they succeed? Today's hunt will provide the answer. Join us to witness the thrilling moments right now. Following the plan precisely, the team swiftly moves into the dense forest in France. Upon arrival, they promptly advance to their pre-assigned positions, discreetly observing their surroundings. The battle officially begins when a wild boar suddenly appears in John's crosshairs. It charges through the trees, completely unaware that it has stumbled into the line of fire. Seizing the moment, decisive gunshots ring out until the beast staggers. Through his binoculars, John continues to observe and confirm, only to notice it's still struggling to escape. Another shot echoes, leaving no room for error, and the boar finally lies still on the bed of dry leaves. Continuing to move through the forest, their steps are slow and cautious. Tense eyes scan every leaf, missing no movement. Suddenly, a dark shadow darts across their view. Without hesitation, a barrage of shots rings out again, halting the beast's charge. But the hunt isn't over yet. John and his team press deeper into the forest, where the wild boars still lurk, determined to put an end to the threat. As expected, not long after advancing, a wild boar swiftly appears. John immediately assumes a ready stance, his eyes locked on the target. Timing each step of the beast's charge, he fires the moment the opportunity strikes. Absolutely perfect! The creature collapses onto the ground, eliminating yet another threat to this land. Another battle unfolds simultaneously as Jay conducts his hunt in the dense thickets, the perfect hiding place for the monstrous beasts. Through his binoculars, he quickly spots a familiar silhouette. With his rifle cocked and no wasted movement, Jay pulls the trigger. A single shot and the beast collapses instantly. But before he can approach to check, an urgent signal blares. A second wild boar has just emerged. He swiftly rushes to the reported area, preparing for another thrilling confrontation. Upon arriving, Jay carefully observes every movement around him, ready for any situation that might arise. Suddenly, A wild boar charges out from the bushes ahead. Jay, already prepared, fires a precise shot that halts the beast's escape. Yep. A meticulously calculated move. Jay has successfully neutralized the threat. At another location, a tense chase is unfolding. As usual, the marksman repeats familiar maneuvers to take down the beast. However, this wild boar proves difficult to subdue, charging at breakneck speed. The shooter has to fire multiple shots in rapid succession to finally halt its escape. At last, the beast lies still on the grass.
The harvest season is drawing near. People around here are all worried because around this time every year, wild boars start coming down from the forest and wreak havoc on the fields in just a few nights. So we decided to organize a hunt. Some prepared their dogs, others brought along their packs of hunting dogs. Everyone understood clearly. If we didn't act soon, once the boars came down, all we could do was stand by and watch the crops get destroyed. We gathered at the edge of the forest. As soon as they were released, the pack of hunting dogs bolted off. Eagerly tracking the scent. It seemed they were even more impatient. The moment we heard barking, we knew the prey had been cornered. Riley was assigned to hold a position at the top of a small slope, the very spot where an entire herd of wild boars had been spotted. The dogs began driving the prey uphill from the base of the slope. As the barking grew louder, a deafening shot rang out, striking the boar. The claw but still thrashed around, refusing to give up. That stubbornness only earned it 2 more bullets, after which it finally lay still on the hillside. team began to spread out to widen the search area. I moved forward slowly, maintaining intense focus. Suddenly, a wild boar appeared right in front of me, only about 3 meters away. It hadn't even managed to react before it dropped from a precise shot. Hopefully, the next encounters will go just as smoothly.
Bu sefer tamam.
The sound of barking echoed from deep within the forest. Without hesitation, I raised my gun and pulled the trigger decisively. The gunshot momentarily silenced the barking dogs, and the boar collapsed right there in its hiding place. After several hours of hunting, the pack of dogs continued to work tirelessly and eagerly. Thanks to their efforts, we were able to quickly detect another target and take it down with clean, efficient shots. Each successful hit brought a sense of relief, because every boar taken down meant one less threat to the approaching harvest season. When the forest finally grew quiet again, we had to use GPS to locate the pack of dogs. There, they were gathered in one spot on the far side of the slope. Just as we arrived, a dark figure suddenly appeared in my sights. Instantly, a sharp gunshot rang out. The boar dropped on the spot. The golden moment lasts only seconds. That's why, once you sense signs of prey nearby, never take your finger off the trigger. As I continued sweeping the surrounding area, I stumbled upon a small stream, an ideal feeding spot for wild boars. Let's see if we find anything here, I muttered to myself, keeping a firm grip on my rifle. And sure enough, just a few minutes later, barking erupted like a blaring alarm. A pitch-black boar came charging. I was ready. Without hesitation, I raised my gun and pulled the trigger. The shot echoed through the forest walls, bringing a dramatic and intense showdown to an end. The hunt was over, and everyone was exhausted. But at least, the upcoming harvest will face one less threat. Wild boars are cunning and highly resourceful creatures. They react lightning fast to danger, leaving no room for even seasoned hunters to let their guard down. Every step must be precise, as a single misstep could come at an immediate cost. Heart-pounding ambushes, thrilling chases, and startling, pulse-racing moments are about to unfold. Join us to witness these vivid scenes. A fierce battle is unfolding right in the middle of the field under the command of Kevin's hunting team. Seasoned marksmen have taken their positions, eyes locked on every movement across the field. Suddenly, from the edge of the field, a herd of wild boars charges out in formation. Unaware of the rifle barrels waiting ahead, they're caught off guard. Then a barrage of gunfire echoes across the field, swiftly dropping several boars, their bodies scattering. The rest flee in panic, but the real pursuit is just beginning. Kevin and his teammates received a signal and immediately used the locator to determine the direction in which the beasts were fleeing. Following the trail, they discovered two wild boars hiding in the dense underbrush. Gripping his rifle tightly and aiming precisely, Kevin swiftly pulled the trigger. The bullet struck the beast's body, leaving it no chance to resist. In the moment it took to reload, the other boar managed to escape. At another corner of the field, a sniper on guard was intently watching every movement ahead. The barking of the hunting dogs signaled that the target had appeared. He quickly assumed a ready stance. As soon as the wild boar charged out, a gunshot rang out, cutting off its escape route. Approaching the check, he was caught off guard when the beast suddenly sprang up and bolted. Acting on instinct, he immediately pulled the trigger. It was a swift, precise maneuver, one that only seasoned hunters with nerves of steel could execute. Deep in the forest, the intensity was no less fierce, with ambushes unfolding in dramatic fashion. Another team of hunters had arrived early, tightening their encirclement around the woods. After 10 minutes of vigilant observation, James spotted a wild boar leisurely foraging among the trees. Without a moment's hesitation, a decisive gunshot rang out as soon as the boar's body came to clear view. The boar collapsed instantly, unaware of the obstruction.
Düştü.
At the same time, in another part of the forest, Jay swiftly took down more boars. While observing the dense cluster of trees, a flurry of dark shapes suddenly darted past. Without delay, rapid gunshots echoed, and any chance of their escape. In mere seconds, only the bodies of 3 wild boars remained on the east side. The threat was swiftly and cleanly neutralized. On the forest's edge, another marksman added to the team's tally. With a single, precise shot, he ended the beast's escape in his sights. A seemingly ordinary hunt quickly turns into a nightmare. When the prey no longer fears, but instead turns back to attack. Who is the real hunter? These ferocious wild boars possess incredible strength and speed, showing no fear of humans. This beast can make us pay a hefty price. In the heart of the dense forest, can we escape the grasp of this new predator? Stay tuned until the end of the video to witness a showdown filled with tension in every second. Wild boars are a common invasive species in Russia, particularly in the Far East. With an average weight of 90 to 200 kilograms, some individuals even weigh over 400 kilograms. They cause severe damage to agriculture, destroying crops and increasing the cost of crop protection. Globally, wild boars cause approximately $1.5 billion in economic losses each year. Furthermore, they negatively impact ecosystems and act as a vector for diseases that can affect both animals and humans. The real hunt begins. This is the time when wild boars emerge from their hiding spots to forage, and we are ready to intercept them. The vehicle speeds through vast fields, while the road ahead narrows into dirt paths, surrounded by barren trees, standing stark against the twilight. Without wasting time, our eyes scan the surroundings, and then, right on the edge of the field, a herd of wild boars appears. Their shaggy, filthy coats are not only unsightly, but also a potential source of disease. As soon as they notice us, they grow wary, ready to flee at any moment. But before they can escape, a series of gunshots ring out, sealing their fate. A few boars, struck by bullets, writhe helplessly on the dry ground, struggling in vain as if begging for their lives. Some manage to dash into the forest, but we won't let a single one get away. We climb higher, maneuvering over jagged rocks, the ground beneath us rustling with dry leaves under each step. The surrounding silence is suffocating. Only the sound of our heavy breathing and the faint rustling of the trees in the wind remains. Fatigue begins to creep in, our legs growing heavier with each uphill step. But ahead, the target is still lurking. We cannot give up. We cannot let the prey slip away. Suddenly, the frenzied barking of our hunting dogs shatters the stillness, signaling that the target is dangerously close. The team instantly sharpens their focus, fingers tightening on the triggers. There it is. I waste no time. I take aim and pull the trigger. A thunderous gunshot echoes through the mountains, and this time, it doesn't get away. The wild boar collapses on the spot. A perfect ending to this heart-pounding hunt. After a night of rest, we regain our strength and push deeper into the nearby forest. As soon as we arrive, the dogs erupt into frantic barking, a clear sign that the prey is near. Everyone holds their breath, scanning through the thick foliage. Aside from the dogs, an eerie silence blankets the forest. The quiet is suddenly torn apart as a massive shadow charges forward. I instantly raise my gun, summoning every ounce of composure and skill I have. One precise shot. The bullet pierces straight into the head of a 60 kilograms wild boar. It staggers for a moment before collapsing onto the ground. Its coarse, dust-covered fur is now still, its powerful body motionless as its final breath fades away. But there is no time to rest. Our hunting dogs have already located another target. I quickly reposition myself to intercept it. This time, there's no escape. One decisive shot, and it's over. In less than 10 minutes, 2 more full-grown wild boars are taken down. A triumphant hunt, marking yet another victory in our relentless battle against the invaders of the wild. Noticing the herd's escape route, I sprint toward the hilltop, racing against time. My breath comes fast and hard in the eerie silence, heightening the tension to its peak. And there it is. The wild boar freezes in panic as it spots me. Its wild eyes flash with fear as the cold muzzle of my gun locks onto it. But by then, it is already too late. At the end of our expedition, the rewards were substantial. However, given the destruction they have caused, this battle is far from over. When the forest turns white with snow, wild boars descend to the fields. There's nothing left to eat in the mountains, so they tear up the grass, dig out roots, and even bite through cattle feed bags as if the land belongs to them. In just one night, they can destroy an entire season's worth of a farmer's hard work. And when that happens, hunters can't just sit still. We head out with rifles, hounds, and burning resolve in sub-zero cold. If we don't stop them, we'll be the next to lose everything. The ground was covered in white snow. The tracks of the wild boars had almost completely vanished. We brought along hunting dogs to help us track the boars more easily in these conditions. And when one of them suddenly barked loudly and dashed toward the deep forest, the hunt officially began. The hunting dogs' barking echoed through the forest. I immediately scanned the area. As soon as I spotted the wild boar darting through the bushes, I quickly took position, aimed, and tracked its movement. Then I pulled the trigger. Bang! The boar collapsed the moment the shot rang out. We didn't stop. We moved to a new position where our teammate had signaled. I quickly reached the intercept point and scanned the surroundings carefully. Suddenly, a herd of wild boars burst out from the far side of the forest, charging at full speed. I raised my rifle and locked onto the lead boar. Boom. The first shot just grazed it and got away. The second hit the next one square. It dropped on the spot. The third and fourth shots missed. The rest vanished into the trees. Just a heartbeat too slow, and everything slips away in the blink of an eye. I moved deeper in, following the tracks of the herd hiding within. Suddenly, one boar darted across my path. I raised my rifle, aimed quickly, ready to fire. The first shot missed. It kept running. I reloaded instantly and pulled the trigger again. The second shot hit, its mark the boar collapsed on the snow, unable to go any farther. I moved to another position, following the trail to track down the wild boars. Suddenly, I heard a rustling sound in the bushes. I stopped, raised my rifle, and aimed directly toward the natives. The herd burst out. I pulled the trigger. Bang! The lead boar collapsed. These wild boars are incredibly fast. Landing a shot isn't easy. But we can't afford to hold back not when farmland and livestock pens are being destroyed. As night began to fall, we knew we had to take down the remaining boars before losing their trail. While moving through the forest, I spotted a dark figure darting straight toward me. I got into position, finger tight on the trigger, waiting for the When it emerged from the trees with nothing left to shield it, I fired immediately. The first 2 shots missed. It kept charging. I stayed calm and lined up the 3rd shot carefully. The bullet struck it right in the neck. The boar collapsed, unable to run any farther. On the way out of the forest, just as I passed a thick bush, I caught sight of a wild boar's shadow peeking through. I immediately stepped in to block its path, raised my rifle, and aimed carefully. Hunting wild boars isn't just a passion, it's about protecting the land, the livestock, and preventing local farmers from losing everything overnight.